Good afternoon, dear lighted ones. This is Joanna from Universal Unity and the Universal Light Wisdom and Healing Centers. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We are gathering in this beautiful sacred energy of the total lunar eclipse, the full moon, and the blue moon that is emanating with us. The full moon was actually last night, but I always move within the full moon energies 2 days before and 2 days after. So we have a beautiful grace period, if you will, of allowing ourselves to create sacred ceremony, sacred initiations, sacred oneness within all that we are as divine beings of living Christed light. And so it's really beautiful for us to gather in this way, as we say for all of our classes and all of our offerings. We gather as a one human family. We gather as a one human heart. So I appreciate your presence, and I appreciate your um, all of your notes and the sharing of our light on all of the social platforms. And that's truly how we ripple through changes and paradigms, the changes in the divine human life, the divine human experience, in which, for many, many years, for many of us, it's been a transition to truly go within and create that self excitement, about being human, and that self excitement about our role here on earth, and our pleasure here on earth, and to awaken to it in a beautiful way, and to awaken to it in a way that we're consciously aware of how truly great and how truly blessed we are to have this beautiful human gift. And so in that appreciation, in that gratitude, we're opening up the portals of love. We're opening up the portals of our divine etheric families. Before we create any meditation and alignment within our sacred space that we create, I do prepare the space in a sacred way. And so when we gather in this way, we're gathered with the beings from all over the universe that are here to assist humanity in our evolution, in our divine awakening to our God self. And as each and every one of us explore the God self within, our Christed essence, that Christed light body, that molecule by molecule, cell by cell, we create through our thoughts, through our words, through our deeds, through our desires and our new behaviors to step forward in new paradigms. That this is the Christed umbrella that all that we do is coming into manifest. And so it allows us to let go of let go of the ego ideals and the ego concepts that allow us to think that we have to do any more than being our Christed self and moving through ascension in this way. And so it's really beautiful. It's making this whole entire process of our divine evolution, in however it may unfold, in whatever frequencies we may unfold within, very simple. And it's about us going within to seek who are we, what exists within, and what do we exist within, and aligning it in our true illuminated way in every moment. And that's the Christed essence. That's how we create that lighted body. And today I wanted to talk about these beautiful energies that we're soaking within, and these beautiful energies and these initiations that are being ushered in as we create these beautiful sacred alignments, and the divine source creator and Mother, Father, God gifting us with these beautiful celestial alignments month after month after month after month. They truly do allow us to look at who we are in new ways, to create all that we are in new ways, and entangle with love and with ourselves and with creation and with one another in new ways. And so today's topic will be, and what is one of my passions, is divine entanglement with God. Divine entanglement with God is in all moments, in all things. The divine entanglement with we're learning and we're remembering. Entanglement with ourselves can be truly divine and can be truly sacred. How we view ourselves as sacred, how we view all that we are as sacred, how we view our home as sacred. And the beautiful children from Sirius reminded me the other day, I was looking for experiences and remembrances of my other frequencies that I'm teaching with children, and I'm creating divine remembrances with children so that they can explore the universe in the Christed way that they explore the universe. And they reminded me that in everything that I unfold here for my family, and I'm constantly seeking ways that I can create a more harmonic and balanced and peaceful sacred temple within my home. Because as I view myself as a sacred being of light, a sacred temple being of light, so too do I wish my home to be a sacred temple of light. And so if I create that intention, if I create that soft and loving resolve, energetically and consciously, then that changes and shifts the energy of the house, instead of it being a place where people come and go and do their own thing and they meet up for, family dinners once in a while. And so that sacred communication and that sacred entanglement can be a part of everything and anything. And the children had reminded me that I can merely go through my house and I can provide beautiful, soft, and loving intentions to the walls and to the rooms and to the ceiling and to the floors. And as I do this sacred dance of love, of joy, of sacred bliss, and reminding me that I can flow God through me in this way, because as I breathe and ignite God breath and God consciousness and God awareness within all that I am as a temple of light, my chakra systems, my pillar of light, my divine sacred heart with Mother, Father, God, my divine higher mind, all that I am as a divine being of Christ and light, so too can I walk around within my home and within our communities and within our globe and so on and so forth in this way, in this perspective. For when we allow ourselves to create more sacred perspective, we tend to treat all those around us and within us and in our community and our environment, in our daily unfolding, in a sacred way. And these small and beautiful reminders, it surely allowed me to perceive my home and my walls in different ways. For I've been regular at clearing and cleansing my home and clearing and cleansing my space, because I do create sacred space in my ceremonies and in my work, and in my spiritual work. But to take that perspective and expand it within my home life, to take that perspective and expand it within my every moment with my children, and understanding that as I perceive them as God beings, as I perceive the people walking on the street as God beings and brothers and sisters, and as I perceive all beings as godliness. For if we choose to perceive all life in this manner and truly sacred, regardless of how it may be unfolding or appearing to you, but we can choose from the divine sacred heart to create that loving and soft and joyful and unconditional and graceful and sacred perspective, then that communication is already illuminated and heightened and expanded to that Christed presence, your state of being within it, because you've stated it. You've created that intention with that consciousness. And so this is what's truly different about our path work, our ascension unfolding, experiencing, because we're allowing ourselves to be the masters in the moment through which we choose, through conscious, masterful choice, that breath, centering in stillness and grounding to the divine and sacred crystalline heart of Gaia, our oneness with her, our presence, our consciousness, our awareness with her, our sacredness with her, our desire to entangle and communicate and desire this marriage to be as one and our co-creation to be as one, so that our Christed illumination, our Christed mastery becomes manifest with her. And our breath ignites and inspires all of these moment for moment communications, these moment for moment entanglements with our Christed God self, that highest, most expansive self that's always that perfected state of night, right here, right now, that perfected moment of us. And we're allowing that center point and that divine lotus flower, if you will, that opens up and that blooms and blossoms when we acknowledge our sacredness, when we acknowledge our ability to be in entanglement with God in all ways. And that's a perspective shift, because we're allowing ourselves to experience, and you're giving yourself permission to experience the God in all ways, to experience the God within you first, that before your feet even touch the ground in the morning. And as your heart opens up and allows you to, wow, it's another beautiful day. How may I co-create in this way with the divine masters and the master heavenly counsels that are always moving through me and within me? And my divine partnership with Mother, Father, God, the love of all things, the creator of all things within you. Your acknowledgement and your acceptance of this, allowing you to open that beautiful consciousness field of all that you are within and begin that co-creative exploration. And as you do and you acknowledge and you accept this and you state with beautiful, loving, and soft intentions, in this moment of now before my eyes open, I desire this beautiful consciousness weaving so that the God in all that I am, from all consciousness realms and frequencies and all soul threadings that I am threaded with and that are threaded with me, so that the reality of all that I exist within, the reality that exists within me and my divine essence of Mother, Father, God coming to life in new ways, may I step forward with my most excited essence of who I am and be excited within it so that I may embrace myself as if I'd never embraced myself before, with the divine sacred entanglement of God in all things, for I see it, I feel it, I know it, I can hear it. I can hear God in all things. The essence of consciousness and the reality around me, awakening me in every moment. For the God within me allows me to experience the God within all things. And our bodies, our multidimensional bodies, are waking up to entangle with it. And how these divine entanglements in which we exist right now, and we're setting this beautiful sacred space in which we're allowing ourselves permission for just a few moments out of our busyness and our days that seem to be so scheduled and so busy. And I often say this to my children: before you rush out the door, let's just have a moment. And I must look into your eyes, for they are God eyes, and your heart is a God spark. And before you run away and get busy, and before you go and create like the master that you are, let's create permission for one another just to entangle in this moment of love, so that I may remind you how special you are, so that I may remind you how beautiful you are, so that I may remind you how required you are to be the fullest God essence that you are, and that you may speak your truth, and that your authentic soul song may sing for all to hear. For your colors are so very bright. You are an essence of the divine. And we allow ourselves in this moment the permission to let it all go, to let the worries and the schedules and the appointments and the have-tos and the obligations, so that you may be free in this moment, if only for a moment, and give yourself permission to commune within your divine sacred heart, to create that sacred and loving, dynamic engagement and entanglement in which, in this very moment, you can choose to be so consciously aligned with the all that you are, with the all that is calling you and ushering you into new frequencies of light, new frequencies of Christed dimensional play. For consciousness is always awake and aware of you. However, it's how we perceive and how we intend and how we move about life with our own sacred intent and free will that allows us to dance and entangle with it, with all that is in love, in loving communion, in loving communication, in loving exploration, in loving experience, in loving co-creations with others, in loving song and dance. And so allow yourself in just this moment, dear ones, to understand that you can in any moment center with your breath, align with your divine higher mind, your divine sacred self. Drop your divine sacred heart. Create that soft and loving intention to open up your divine sacred heart, the center of who you are, the divine in you. That beautiful lotus flower, open it up with your permission and your acknowledgement to be the Christed essence that you are, so that you may experience, so that you may explore, so that you may create that dynamic entanglement, that God entanglement. For it is always lived through the heart, always. For that is the ignition, that is the engine of love. It's where you feel and sense and know all things. It's where your consciousness, the threads of all that you are, spun throughout the entire universe, moving with you in this moment of now, if you so choose to attune to it. And it's just a soft and loving intention to attune to the multidimensional bodies and how these threads of God consciousness are threading to you and awakening you. And this is the divine entanglement of God in all things, is it not? For we remind you, dear lighted ones, you are eternal and infinite and so very profound beyond what you can see, and oftentimes beyond what you can feel, until you give yourself permission and acknowledgement and acceptance and allow the God to live through you as you do it. It's a co-creative infinity cycle of all things. For as you see, God sees. As you are, God is. As you emit, as you receive. It's an infinity cycle of you with you. And the more acknowledgement and acceptance you gift yourself as the God essence that you are, so too do you open up the vibrational fields of the all that you are threaded within, to gift you, to align you, to entangle you with divine communications that are beyond what you can explain or understand, but that's okay, because you will. You're fitting yourself into your more grand, vast soul self. And it will take time to acclimatize to the frequencies. It will take time to acclimatize the multidimensional bodies, but have faith, dear ones. For Joanna has been there. Every moment, eternally evolving with her multidimensional bodies. So have faith and breathe. For the universe is benevolent. God is benevolent. The Christed spark that you are is benevolent, which means, dear lighted ones, there is always within you, every moment of breath, every moment of choice, the benevolency, perspective, to see all beings, to see all things, to be that essence of the eternal Christ that you are. Benevolent, compassionate, joyful, rich in vitality, rich in wellness and health, rich in abundance and prosperity, rich in creative inspirations, rich in your healing potentialities, rich in your wisdoms and intelligence and your free will to create. For there is nothing that you are denied. For it's the very essence and universal law of benevolence, dear ones. Allow your hearts to open with the divine entanglement within all moments, within all life, within all things, flora, fauna, wildlife, your children, the children that we see as God essence, the children that we bring forward. For they reminded Joanna the other day that oftentimes children come into this world, as many of you have, and you immediately come in with a societal imprint that you are less than, for that the children are always looked down upon until they complete so much school or accreditation or the diplomas that one may accomplish, if you will, for it's been so materially driven in a very separative way. And so children come into this environment, into the earthly frequencies and human frequencies with these understandings. And every time that we step beyond that, each and every one of us, creating from the divine sacred heart those choices of empowerment, those choices of Christed love, those choices of oneness and unity consciousness, those choices of divine entanglement, of godliness in all ways. For I am God, as are you. I emanate my God essence because you are God essence. I see you as one, brother and sister. For I emit the vibrations that so too do you resonate with. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here to co-create an experience with us, would you? You see what we're saying here, dear ones? We are all co-creative threads of the divine. As you seek the divine within you and give yourself acknowledgement and acceptance of your Christhood, so too will it flow through you in all ways and show you in all ways. Through thought, through word, through deed, through consciousness, action, and behavior. That's how collective paradigms, as the whole human family and every societal paradigm, every societal avenue, will feel and be altered in every way. And as we step forward in this soft and loving moment, in these beautiful full moon energies that allow us the beautiful self reflection within our sacred divine families, my sacred and endearing and eternal communication with all consciousness, with all life, with all creation is in all moments. It's never shut off just to my spiritual time or my spiritual meditative time or work or my healing or my family time. My entanglement and my God entanglement and my God communications and my conversations with God, all moments. For your next door neighbor that you meet on the street, that is a conversation with God. For the trees that you pass on your nature walk is a conversation with God. For every step that you take upon Gaia, when you feel or when it appears as if no one is there, is a conversation with God. For your breath in this now moment is a conversation with God. And if you allow your hearts to open to your lighted ones, God's listening, always. And we see all life in a beautiful version, in a beautiful palette, every color, every sound, every vibration, all of its diversity. And we don't run and hide, or we don't turn our backs on the vibrations that are not like our own. We open our divine sacred heart, and the altruism lives through us, for that is the Christed essence. We are all one. We do not run and hide from those moments that bring fear or anxiety or self-doubt, for they are the moments through which mastery is earned, in which we stand within our light. We stand within the Christed essence of all that we are, and we love it, and we create wholeness with it. For there is a story and the universal child within it that's calling out to you. What are your beliefs about your oneness with this? For when you stand in that essence of no fear, even when you're facing it, that is the Christed essence within you, allowing that wholeness and oneness with it, and all timelines are healed. For it is only when we run and hide from that fear that fear keeps following you until that voice is heard. And forgiveness and compassion of all that you are is that communication with God that allows you to create liberation so that you are freed from it. And it's a forgiveness unto thyself and your acknowledgement unto thyself, gifting yourself compassion and gifting yourself forgiveness so that you open up within the Christed essence of all that you are, and you allow the portals of creation to live through you. It's always a constant cycle. That is evolution. A constant cycle, reciprocation of love, the constant entanglement and constant co-creation of God, of you as God, of you with God, re-exploring God, reinventing God. How so utterly dynamic. And so, dear lighted ones, we offer you in this moment of now to perceive your life, to perceive yourself, to perceive all things within creation as the blessed gift that it is, for all moments are God, all beings are God, and you're communicating with God in all ways. Allow yourself acknowledgement and acceptance of the divine beauty that you are, the divine grace that you are, to have the courage and the bravery to walk forward and face all fears and face all self-doubt and bring it in and make it whole. For it's you with you. You are divinely eternal, dear lighted ones. There is no separation. And may we stretch out our hands and our arms and our loving hearts to one another as we create new human oneness and new human evolution and new human paradigms that bring us together within our one Christed heart. And may we ripple new colors to creation. And may we offer ourselves as initiation to Mother, Father, God, to creation in the myriad of ways that we may serve. May our hearts open up with divine unconditional love to truly be all that we can be. Within the Christed essence, I acknowledge myself to be, for I am that I am. I am divine compassion. I am divine joy. I am divine sacred light. I am divine vitality. I am divine health and nurturance. I am divine free will to co-create. I am my Christed essence of divine abundance and prosperity. I am divine sacred fire. I am divine sacred beauty and joy. And in this moment, I walk forward in these co-creative and initiatory energies that Mother, Father, God have gifted, that Source has gifted, and I entangle and I dance with co-creation. For there is nothing to fear anymore. For we are sitting within the most lush and most incredible and extraordinary frequencies to co-create as divine beings of light. And we reach out our hands unconditionally with compassion and release all judgment. For we are one with all existence. And I open my heart in love and self-forgiveness and self-compassion and self-embrace and self-excitement and self-acceptance of who I am in this moment. For in this moment of now, I am that I am, the Christed being of light. In all moments, I entangle with God. In all moments, I entangle with incredible versions of this divine ascending earthly reality in which we co-create as a one human heart. And our universal families open up and celebrate us in all moments. As Mother, Father, God celebrate you in all moments, that you choose to see yourself as love and of light and the beautiful colors that you radiate to creation just by being you. For you are enough. You are required and you are needed. Open up your heart. Create the sacred space of all that you are. Create the sacred initiation before you get out of bed in the morning. Tune into your multidimensional bodies. Set sacred space within your home and your temple of your home. And create loving emanations of joy and balance and creativity, or whatever it is that you desire to experience as your Christed self. For there are no boundaries and no limits. It is safe for us to play again, dear lighted ones, and so it is. Thank you, dear lighted ones, for tuning in with this beautiful experience and this beautiful co-creation of beautiful energies. And my heart is filled with love and joy for all of you, and my love for all that we're creating together, and these beautiful initiations and beautiful ceremonies in which we expand within all that we are as God beings, and all of our moments in which we communicate and we entangle with God in all moments. And just to perceive those moment for moment experiences as God moments. You're experiencing God in all those beings that you communicate with. And if we see it from that heart, we create that experience through our hearts, then we soften and we let go of all those judgments. We let go of all those chains and all those restrictions that confined us to being so very limited and experiencing such a small perspective of creation. So move with nature. Allow nature to live through you. Allow God to live through you. Allow all of creation to live through you, for it is a beautiful dance and a communication of love. It's a beautiful song of love, and we are the notes within it. So thank you, dear lighted ones. This is Joanna from Universal Light, Wisdom, and Healing Centers. My love, my peace, and my adoration to all of you for walking your path and walking within your light. Namaste.